Hello VC, Steve here. I'm just holding my t-shirt up. Greetings from the UK. As you may have gathered, I went to see Blackie and the boys on Friday night, and the best news was I got a front row seat, or in my case a stand. I was actually stood on the barrier about 4 feet away from Doug Blair, the lead guitarist. There was like a barrier and about 4 or 5 feet space, and it was just an absolutely amazing gig. They sang basically, it's the 25th anniversary of this album, Crimson Idol, and what they did was they performed all of this album plus some tracks from their earlier catalogue. Now I'm not going to tell you because I believe Rene from Spain is going to the gig in Spain in a couple of weeks. So I'm not going to tell you what the tracks were because I don't want to spoil it for Rene. But they sang all of the Crimson Idol, and it was just an amazing gig. And I never expected to get a front row seat. And it was to be honest, I got a surprise because I thought Blackie was a lot shorter than he was. I thought he was a short fella, about 5'9", 5'10", but he turned out to be a very tall bloke, and that's what shook me as well. But it was just a great night out, and it really made my year, that has. And what I thought I'd do was something a bit different today. Excuse me. Everybody on the VC reviews all the records and the CDs. And I think I'm the first to do this. If I'm not, please comment below if you know somebody else has done this before. But I want to do a review on my t-shirt because I spent a lot of money on this and I actually print them, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to quality t-shirts. And what I thought I'd do is do a review on my t-shirts. That's better. Sorry about that, it's a slight technical issue. You have to excuse me, folks, because what the problem is, the weather's very unsettled here and the lighting ain't very good, and I may get darker or lighter. It's not me, it's the window behind me, and it's very unsettled, the weather. We've got a storm called Brian now, and whether it's coming or not, it's just unsettling everything at the moment. But going back to my original subject, I want to do a review on my t-shirt, and this is also to help my fellow VC members when they go to concerts or buy heavy metal t-shirts know what they're getting. For the very first thing what I look out for when I buy my t-shirt is the tag. If you have a look at that tag, that is a Gildan t-shirt. Okay, it's a blue writing. If you can see it, it also shows me it's big shot. Yeah, it just gives you the gist. But that's the sort of t-shirt you want to be buying, because Gildan are a trade standard. Everybody uses them to print on. The reason why is because they've got a high cotton content. Now this is very important because the higher the cotton, the better the t-shirt is. A lot of the cheaper ones don't have cotton, they have nylon or polyester, and they're no good. Because I'm spent nearly 25 English quid for this t-shirt, I want something decent for my money. I know this t-shirt, providing I don't wash it over 40 degrees, will last me, or obviously if I don't go out and get some paint strip on it or something corrosive, will last me forever. It's not going to tear, it's not going to be damaged or anything, it's just a quality product. So when you buy your t-shirts, guys, look out for Gildan, they're a good make. Another thing I've noticed about this t-shirt, this looks like it's been printed using a laser printer. What they do is they get the cartridges and print onto a transfer paper, then the paper's applied to the t-shirt and pressed. Again, this is quality as well, because that printing ain't going to fade, but it ain't going anywhere. It will deteriorate slightly over the years, especially if you wear it constant, but that printing will basically last as long as the shirt. On the back side of this t-shirt, it's got it's really good quality, and it's great printed. And it's, all in all, it's one of the best t-shirts I bought at a gig. They've even put the side bits on. Look, you even got that bit on the side, which is really good. But this t-shirt's high quality product. You know, it just reeks quality. So when you go to your gigs in future, Gildan's obviously the mate to go for, but avoid anything with low polyesters, because if you've got sensitive skin, especially female members, it may make you rash. You see, with cotton, if you sweat, it absorbs the sweat, but unfortunately polyester doesn't very well. With these Gildan t-shirts, we get a lot of issues with them because if they've been stored in a cold warehouse, they absorb a lot of the cold, and when we put them under the heat press, we get a lot of steam coming off them. It's like with these the t-shirts, and they're great because they keep you cool in the summer and warm in the winter, but these polyester ones just don't do that. And I won't personally wear them. Personally, I wouldn't even use them as wiping cloths to wipe my TV and my sides or stuff like that. So when I go to a gig, I always make sure I get a good quality t-shirt. Life's too short for rubbish. And if you want me to ask any more questions about t-shirts, hit me below the comments. But I just thought I'd talk about it for a couple of minutes, because I don't think anybody's ever done it before, is actually reviewed their t-shirt. So I hope I've given you an insight on what to look for when you buy a t-shirt. Now, I want to do 2 shout outs. One for Christain Luna. I love your channel, my friend, and I like some of the metal you hold up, especially the thrash. It's really, really good. And another channel I've been watching forever is by a guy by the name of Rene, Hospa, in Spain. Hiya, Rene. The reason why I've mentioned Rene is because Rene in his last video brought up a very interesting point. He talked about he can't headbang anymore because he's got problems with the neck, and I've got that problem as well, and I've got spinal problems anyway. I'm not going into the reason why, but it's a long story, and I can't headbang either. The trouble is with me as well, I've also got hearing damage. I've been listening to rock music since Bohemian Rhapsody was in the charts, and when we was kids we used to play it through headphones. And over the years, all through the 80s, I used to listen to my music through headphones. And unfortunately, the music was too loud. And I have got permanent hearing loss and damage. The only reason why I was diagnosed was because I think it was the 90s, I went to a reenactment. And it was like a fair in this country, or a car boot. I think they call them fairs in America, where you have everybody together, you have cakes and stalls and stuff like that. And I don't really know what happened, but one minute I was standing up, the next minute I hit the floor, and because one of these guys, they discharged one of the cannons, they were doing an English Civil War reenactment, and I was stood about 4 feet away, and it just knocked me on the feet, and my ears were so badly ringing, and I had to go to the hospital. They took me in to check me up because obviously I thought I might have concussion, and to cut a long story short, I've got hearing damage. And what it was causing was a lifetime of going to gigs and listening to too much music through the headphones. It has affected my hearing. What I do now is I never listen to music through the headphones anymore. I listen to it directly out the speakers. It's just these little precautions, because sadly, once you get this hearing problem, you can't get rid of it. It's there, you got it forever basically. I've heard in extreme cases you might get buzzing or tinnitus, I think it's called, but you know you've got it because if you listen to music, the actual music will irritate it and make it worse or increase it. So if you're getting noise of the ear and you listen to your music and it's getting worse and worse and worse, I suggest you go and see your doctor before you do some permanent damage. Unfortunately, with the hindsight of youth, we didn't know this sort of stuff then, and I know Scott Waters might, I don't know if you're suffering from hearing loss with being actually on the stage and performing, but it is something to look out for. But nobody was really headbanging on Friday, but I wish I could, but unfortunately I can't do it anymore, because again, going to a lot of the punk rock gigs, I still go to a lot of gigs today in pubs. There's a lot of great bands in our local, and I'm always down there. I don't listen to tribute acts, I can't stand them, but I listen to a lot of punk rock bands and stuff like that. But I just thought I'd do this film just to make people aware of these two issues, because I have experienced them myself, and to be on the guard for them. I wouldn't want anybody going deaf. Not much to hold up anyway today, because obviously I've been to the gig. I have listened to a few CDs, and poor Greg, I feel very sorry for him, because his last video was one of the funniest I've ever seen. I was crying with laughter, and especially if you show acoustic CDs, it makes he's allergic to them. But I discovered an acoustic CD, but out of respect to Greg, Blackmore Rules, I wasn't going to show it. But when I've heard it a couple of times, I realise it's not an acoustic CD. There is a lot of guitar work in it, but it's basically other instruments as well, so I'm justified in holding it up. And that's this one. Now, the reason why I want to show this one is I've never ever seen a Mark Boland acoustic one before. In our charity shops, there's hundreds and hundreds of greatest hits of Mark Boland, so I know I've bought most of them. But this album's awesome, and it's basically outtakes of studio, other bits he did, and some of the stuff's really, really good. As you might be aware, Mark Boland was killed in 1977, and it was very sad because I believe he died in a car crash involving, he was in a Mini and he crashed. But it's just, I really like Mark. He's a great songwriter, and it's just a great CD. I really enjoyed that one. So Greg, I am absolved by showing it, because it's not acoustic. If it was being a guitar only, I wouldn't have shown it, because I feel sorry for Greg. But if you do get the rashes, mate, I've got plenty of creams and lotions here. I'll send you some as VCLT, mate, with pleasure. Another band I've been listening to a lot at the moment is Aerosmith, and I've already held this CD up, but that's their whole back catalogue, I think. It's so much music on this CD. There must be, it's a double, but there must be about, what, 34 tracks on this. So it's just an amazing Aerosmith track. I listened to the side one yesterday, and it's just an amazing thing with Crying Crazy, Walk on Water, Blind Man, and the best track is Dream On. It's just an amazing album. Now my last hold up is going to be a new discovery. About 3 weeks ago, I was surfing through the thrash metal pages on Facebook, and I discovered this band. What I do is, when they have links to YouTube, I listen to them, and this band absolutely knocked me out, and that's this band, Lazarus, AD it's called, and this CD is called The Onslaught. Unfortunately, this band didn't last very long, because Ryan Shuttler died in 2015. I believe he was their drummer, and they disbanded. I think this was the first or maybe second, but only did 3 things. The one after this was called Black Rivers Flow. This one was brought out in 2007. I think this was their first album, but it's just awesome thrash metal. The riffs in here are second to none, and I've been playing it non-stop. So if you haven't discovered this CD yet, I urge you do. It's just an awesome listen to. I've been listening to a lot of Slayer lately. I was going to hold them up, but I'm doing a seal and reveal on one of their albums after this video. Whether it'll be done today, I don't know. It might be, but the light might stop me. But I just thought I'd do something totally different to this video. If you want to see some pictures of the WASP concert, please go onto my Facebook page, the Headbanging Zulu UK, and I have posted some photographs of it. But it was an awesome gig, and I really enjoyed it. I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers and viewers, and you take care of yourself and love each other. This is the Headbanging Zulu saying goodbye. See ya.